Riri is...
Kakenuke 青春 Sparking.
Riri is gonna have a moment as well. And then, the next day...
さーて、今日はみんなでゴミ拾いよ。はい。頑張りましょうね、皆さん。
All of the members of the youth collective had gathered at the swimming area of the beach. There's a specific area on the beach for swimming. What? I'd imagine Kashima had a change of heart after what happened yesterday. Yeah, what happened yesterday, you? Mind sharing that with the whole class? She had suggested in the group chat I would land last night that we do this as a club rather than on her own. Oh, you're talking about the picking up the trash part, not the thing that happened after. Yeah, which was fine, but
でも、なんで水着で？前みたいに波打ち際まで掃除するの？
we were all curious, but Ritsu was the first to ask. Once she did, Hibiki held up her beautiful... Why are you complimenting another woman's tits right in front of Riri? Can't believe it. Held up her beautifully shaped chest with pride.
どうせなら楽しい方がいいでしょ?
And also because there wasn't any other time for there to be a fan service bikini scene. So they shoehorned in the requirement that the characters had to wear bathing suits and bikinis, swimsuits and bikinis while cleaning up garbage. Because it's very obvious that you didn't need to, because Riri didn't last night.
だから海水浴をしつつってことにしたのよ。
That sounded like something you should say.
一挙両得ってやつね。さすが響きだわ。いいやね。
Because the first time around... Wait. Yeah. The first time around they were cleaning up trash, it led to a CG of them swimming in the water, right? This time around, I don't think they're going to go down the same route. There probably might be a CG, but yeah. Surely they won't do the same thing.
相変わらず小日向先輩には甘いっすね。
Yeah, she sure said it.
でも、いい案だと思う。ゴミ拾いだけじゃなくて、水にも入りたいもんね。せっかく海に来てるんだから。水中活動は我々にお任せください。そうそう、胸がない方が水の抵抗が。ってなんでやねん。
Listen, you're the one who said it, alright? The water should be litter free, actually. There might be kelp and whatnot, though. I don't appreciate those sounds you're making. Can you shut up? Thank you. I took a look to my side to find some suspicious guy breathing heavily.
よし、だいぶ慣れてきたぞ。みんなの水着に害はない。大丈夫だ。
Shut up. I forgot that he wasn't here last time. Or the first time. Huffing and puffing like that makes you look like a total creep.
そうっすよ。正直近寄りたくないっす。
これだけ肌出してる連中に変質者扱いされたくないよ。それに近寄ってこないのならありがたい。まだなんだ、深呼吸してないと怖いからな。
Shinji sure had it rough.
ま、変質者のことは置いといて、そんな感じで始めましょう。
With that, the youth collective got to work while enjoying the occasional splash in the ocean. However, I quickly realized something that made it difficult for me to criticize Shinji. Yeah, because you're focused on fucking Riri. Dot dot dot. When I locked eyes with Kashima, we both wound up turning away from each other. Yeah, and this is this is after the rest of the group, while Riri wasn't around, had a conversation about how it's very obvious that Yu likes Riri. And I mean, he, you know, turned him down, right? He dismissed it by saying that he isn't good enough for her. But, like, the way they're acting now is gonna be even more suspicious to them. Crap, after what happened yesterday, I can't even look Kashima in the eye. Yeah, because, like, they're gonna be like, what the fuck happened between the two, in between when you left the club room that day to now.
ゴミ、ここにまとめておきましょうね。
Good call. It'll make it easier to collect later, especially since, you know, the whole idea of them picking up rubbish directly came from their talk where the thing happened, you know? Even I realized how awkward I was acting. My face was probably red as well. If only she wasn't in a swimsuit. I could see everything I could see every tantalizing curve and how massive her breasts are. What? I couldn't help but shout when she suddenly called out to me while I was plagued with those dirty thoughts. Talk about embarrassing. There was no way I could possibly look her in the eye now. Well, where else are you gonna look? Down? You're already looking there enough. Sorry, what's up? My heart was pounding feverishly in my chest. What in the world was Kashima about to say? Wait, is she going to scold me for what happened yesterday? No. Maybe. But not scold. She might. She's not going to bring it up. She isn't going to bring up what happened yesterday, alright? It was nothing. Also, I was about to interject. Also, I was about to interject. What? I see. That was the only response I could muster with my gaze averted. What the world was wrong with me? I was supposed to have an excellent poker face too. No, Nagiko realized it again.
そこの二人はさっきから何やってるわけ？なんかさっきからぎこちないというか。目を合わせないで。ねえ。
Oh, this was obvious, but everyone could tell how strangely we were acting. With that being the case, the natural response would be,
なんかあった。
No. It's nothing, really. I tried to deflect before she could ask. Right, Kashima? Wink, wink, nudge, nudge.
はい、別に何でもないです。そう、ならいいけど。
Nothing happened.
だったら、ほら。
Oh. Just then, Hibiki tossed a bottle over to me. Thank you. Wait. It's half empty.
小銭が足りなくて1本しか買えなかったのよ。ってわけで回し飲み。別に気にしないでしょ？
Sure. My only option after making such a claim was to take a drink from the bottle. And then again, I had shared drinks with Hibiki ever since we were little. I didn't think much about that part, but...
ナギ、リツ、私と来てるから、次は鹿島さんね。
Yeah, of course. Got it. Alright, cut. Shima. God damn it. They're doing it again. And then it's an entire fucking plot point too. They're using it as a gotcha. A gotcha. I went to hand over the bottle when I went stiff. Make sure it isn't stiff in the wrong place. But come on. How could I not when she looked so nervously at me? Is she being conscious of me? But that realization made me feel anxious all over again. I put my mouth on this, and now Kashima is... I had experience sharing drinks with Kashima. Yeah, and you got self-conscious after she drank from the bottle. It made my heart race at the time, and I managed to get through it one way or another, and yet... Oh, I couldn't do it. I couldn't do that now. I couldn't risk freaking out now. Or she was going to be suspicious of me all over again. I knew that, but we both went stiff and did nothing but awkwardly groan. And the others saw it all. Hibiki took a breath. Ritsu hummed. And at the end of the day, I hadn't managed to have even a single proper conversation with Kashima. The little pickup and swimming event had eventually come to an end. There was no CG, but it was very awkward between Riri and you, not to mention... Anytime before this, we would have had a conversation together while we gazed out at the ocean. But today... alright, Kashima. It took everything we had to say that much, only to turn away from each other once more. Being alone together today had been out of the question. Don't worry, you. It'll only get worse. It'll only get worse until you confess to each other. Once I got home, I couldn't shake away the overwhelming feeling like I'd screwed up. As I sighed to myself, I worried just like I had last night. And this time Ritsu was aware of, everything except for the... She's aware of everything except for the reason behind why you're acting like this. But the main reason. There are a lot of reasons why you're acting like this. That was when my sister called out to me.
今日はどうしたの？というか、昨日帰ってきてからだけど、鹿島先輩となんかあったの？
Like I said, nothing or anything happened at all. Nothing or anything at all. I jumped to my feet on reflex and raised my voice in denial. It was like I had gotten worked up over it. No, there's no like about it. The calm, rational side of me immediately pointed that out. It wasn't like I was worked up. I was freaking out. Why? That much was obvious. I can't stop thinking about Kashima's panties. I mean, Kashima. And maybe her panties. I as a member of the opposite sex, with that objective in mind.
お兄ちゃんがそう言うならそういうことでいいけど、でも私から見て様子が変なのは確かだからね。妹として落ち着かないので、早く何とかしてください。
Yeah, sorry. Listen, all I'm saying is, you had a better poker face with Shiori, and he got to see all of it. Well, all of it as in bra and panties, not just panties. Right? The bra was from a see-through was seen through a t-shirt, right? So does that really count? I mean, I guess It is alluring. You know what they say when it comes to female sex appeal. What? More clothing is sometimes more appealing. You know? I mean, like, listen, where I'm going with this is that you likes big titties. And that's why he can't look away from Riri's titties. And, well, not so much ass, because he didn't really focus on that part. So, you know, just the titties. Yeah, sorry. Do something. How was I supposed to do something about this? Would it clear away these pent-up feelings if I jacked off or something? I mean, kinda. But it wouldn't solve the overall problem. The whatever the word is. But I'd feel guilty jacking off to Kashima just because, well, I can't use the word guilt in 2 episodes. So let's hope that isn't going to be the pertinent word this time around. And I just aged this episode, so unlucky. On the other hand, I wouldn't feel quite right to jack off to porn or something like normal. Something like normal. Right. Seriously, what was I supposed to do?
とりあえずリビングで頭抱えてるのやめてほしいな。
Yeah, you're right. Sorry. So yeah, Ritsu, I'm just going to...
部屋でもあんまり激しくしないでね。
Oh. Huh? And what? And hey, I'm not going to do anything.
しないの？
Like I said, what do you... No, don't say it. You don't have to say it.
大丈夫だよ。私だって子供じゃないんだから分かってるよ。
No, I understand that you aren't a child. You have a route and all that, so, you know.
見て見ぬふりするから。遠慮なくどうぞ。
What do you mean, see? What do you mean, see anything? You mean here? Excuse me? I told you, I'm not going to do anything. If anything, her being considerate of me in this particular context only made me feel more embarrassed. Yeah, and I'd still do it. What? Seriously, what in the world was I supposed to do? Do it. Just do it, you know? I mean, like, I understand that this is meant to be Riri's route, but you know, Ritsu still has a route, and, like, you're gonna have to do it with her eventually, so why bother caring about her modesty? I don't know what I'm saying. How could I possibly talk my way out of this one? Hibiki and the rest said that I was currently enjoying my youth, but is youth something that comes with so much distress and anxiety? I mean, like, kinda. It's more self-imposed distress and anxiety on your behalf, on your end, but like, yeah, that is the difference between youth and not youth, I guess.
珍しいですね、小日向さん。私と一緒に帰るなんて。まあ、今日はなんとなくね。そうですか。
It's because she wants something out of you.
うん。
She wants to learn about what happened between you and you yesterday.
ところで、鹿島さんさ。 い。今日はまた随分と言うとぎこちなかったけど。部活休んでる間に、あいつとなんかあったの？
I fucking told you I was right on the money. She is asking it. She's asking it in a weird way, but
ありません。何もありません。顔、真っ赤なんだけど。気のせいです。夕日のせいでそう見えるだけです。本当に？見ないでください。そんな、お願いですから。なんかあったんでしょう。ありましたから許してください。やっぱりなんかあったんじゃない。私の目に狂いはなかったわ。それで何があったの？さすがにそれは。話した方が楽になると思うけど。特に、あんたみたいに一人で溜め込むタイプは。誰にも言わないって。
you're asking.
約束してくれますか？
You're asking Hibiki to keep a secret, brother. If it isn't anything as embarrassing as having sex with you right after they confessed, she's going to blab about it to everyone.
その方が話しやすいなら、そうするわ。
If that'll make it easier for you to talk, then sure. How fucking... what's the word? I don't remember the word, but like... It is not a yes, I will keep this secret. It is a sure. I will determine whether or not it's a secret that should be kept.
私、ちょっとした事故で、遠野くんに、下着を見せてしまったんです。
Okay, well, I wouldn't say you let him. It's more like nature had some plans, and you were the unfortunate victim at the center of their plans.
言うに？それってどういうシチュエーション？その、浜辺で私、転んでしまって、膝を軽くすりむいて、そうしたら、遠野くんがその手当てをしてくれて。
Make sure not to mention the part where he was licking your knee.
確かに絆創膏貼ってあるわね。じゃあ見られたのはパンツの方と、ブラも見せちゃってます。
That one was... Well, that one isn't nature so much as it is human biology. Let's go with that. Let's go with that. You sweat so hard that your shirt became see-through. And also blame the clothes manufacturer for being able to see through a shirt. If too much moisture is if it's too wet. Yeah.
あんたたち何やってんの？
Maybe you should clarify before saying he saw your panties and bra.
違うんです。ブラの方はお祭りのお手伝いの時で、私、大汗かいてしまって、T シャツが透けちゃって。ああ、じゃあ別々というか、ブラの件があったから気をつけようと思ってたのに、結局パンツも見られちゃったと。
Thank God Shiori doesn't... Thank God in Shiori's route, she didn't have to explain to anyone what happened between the two of them. Because, let's be honest, you would look like kind of a creep. You would look like kind of a creep if if Shiori had to explain this, oh, you walked in on Shiori while she was trying to change, and he just so happened to trip over her cat while it just so happened to trip over her cat, and his hands just coincidentally seemed to land on parts of her body that would expose her panties. Yeah, so, but it was an accident, alright? At least with Riri, it's like, oh, I got too sweaty, my shirt became see-through, nothing to do with you. And then the second time around, it's, oh, I tripped over a rock, first thing nature planned, and, the wind started picking up and my skirt lifted up because of the wind, right? Nothing to do with you. And also, second part of nature's plan.
はい。で、ユウのリアクションはどうだったのよ?
So at least in the two instances where he got to see her panty and bra, it wasn't due to any of his actions.
これ幸いとエロい顔して凝視したりしてきたの？そんなこと遠野くんはしません。急いで視線を外して触れずにいてくれて。紳士じゃない。でもその後もずっと私の方を極力見ないようにしてる感じになって。っていうか、それはあんたも一緒だったじゃない。だって恥ずかしいみっともないところを見せてしまったんですよ。顔を合わせられないと言いますか、どう接していいかわからなくて。ぶっちゃけそれはお互い様だったように見えたけど。というか、傍から見てるとあんたたちめっちゃ青春してる感じなんだけど。違います。そんなんじゃないです。そんな立派なものでは。ただ、私はどうしていいのかわからないだけで。でもさ、リツから聞いたけど、あんた、ユウに青春とは何かを教えるんじゃなかったの？それは、
Yeah.
そうなんですけど。
And what a better way to teach him what youth is than by dating him.
なのにそんなんでいいわけ？それは、その通りなんですけど、私は、小日向さん？じゃあ私はこの辺で。
Okay.
はい。お疲れ様でした。言っとくけど。はい。恨みっこなしだからね。それじゃ。小日向さん？
Way to be coy about it. I mean, I appreciate it, but like, you didn't have to bring that part up.
恨みっこなしって、一体。駆け抜け青春、スパーキング。
Today's club activity ended up being, let's all watch tons of movies together. And, well, is Riri here? Hang on. Each member would bring the Blu-ray of their choice to the viewing party. And the second plan the second plan of the day is, let's get Riri and you to sit next to each other while we watch these movies. Oh.
こんにちは、遠野くん。
Yeah, here's to another good day. And like usual, things were still awkward with Kashima.
さて、それじゃあまずは私が選んできたパニックホラーでいい？
Oh, really?
ないわよ。響が選んできたものなら。
So you're saying that you're gonna watch a horror movie, together, and it just so happens that Riri and you are going to be sitting next to each other, right? Is that what you're planning?
パニックホラー大歓迎っす。それじゃあテレビを囲むみたいに席を作ってでマイ兄の席はここ。
Huh? Hey. She forced me to sit down onto the seat. Are you sure? I'll be the most front and center.
文句ある人。
別にどこ座ろうと同じだろ。
特にないです。
I mean, here's the thing, right? Shiori and Shinji are the only two that aren't in on the... Well, other than Riri and you, that aren't in on the plan, right? Again, Ritsu and Hibiki thought this up and brought in Kika and Nagiko into the mix. Hibiki and Kaido nodded along in agreement. If that's how you feel, then I guess it's fine. This really seemed like one Hibiki would claim for herself before the others could, though. No sooner did that thought cross my mind.
それじゃあ私、ユウの隣通った。
Well, that's to be expected. But, where is Riri sitting? Hibiki jumped her way into the seat next to my right.
それじゃ私は左。
Oh, I see. Interesting seating arrangement.
私は右後ろね。自分は遠野先輩の前の床に座ってみるっす。
Uh-huh, yeah.
ってことは、しおりちゃんが左後ろだね。リツがそう言うなら。
Why is everyone picking seats in reference to me?
単に真ん中を基準にしてるだけだよ。
Right. Yeah, I guess I get it. Is that how it would work out? Yeah, sure. I guess that'll work. Except for the fact that they literally reference you as where they will be sitting. They didn't say the center. It's not like Kika says I'm gonna try sitting on the floor in front of the center or what did Hibiki say? Yeah, I'll claim this. I claim the seat next to you. It's not like she said I claim the seat next to the center seat or whatever, right? It is in reference to you. How you? He's just going along with it at this rate, at this point.
ってわけで残る左右は鹿島さんと神楽坂ね。はい、わかりました。
俺もユウの隣が良かった。
Yeah, I'm sure Riri would also want to be beside you. Well, no. She would be too embarrassed to admit it, but she would want to be beside you. I guess the sitting arrangement worked out since it put some space between me and Kashima. Yeah, it seems planned, right? If we had wound up directly beside each other, I think watching the movie would have been out of the question. So what is their plan in this? Alright. Obviously, right, they're not making it too obvious. That's why they're doing this seating arrangement where all of the girls are sitting around you except for Riri and you know, Shinji's just around. He's not part of the plan or anything like that. Alright. So what is the plan here? I may have been grateful in a certain sense. Are they gonna change up the seating arrangement mid-movie? Right? Yeah. Well, let's just watch for now.
第1回青春部大上映大会スタート。
With all of that out of the way, we all began to watch the disaster-themed horror flick Hibiki had brought. This feels more like a B-movie. Listen, I don't think the B-movie was a disaster horror film. Never mind. There are a lot of jump scare scenes, and the production values left a lot to be desired if you knew where to look. Still, Hibiki didn't deal with scary things very well. Had she picked this because she thought she wouldn't be afraid if she watched it with the rest of us? It's entirely possible she wouldn't be as bothered by it if she had seen it before or something similar. Hibiki, is the reason you went out of your way to pick this because... Okay. Hey, she clung to me out of nowhere. Hey, Hibiki. Okay. No, this was the plan.
だって怖かったんだもん。
Shouldn't you be fine since you've seen this movie before?
それでも怖いものは怖いでしょ?
Or so Hibiki said as she tightly clung onto my arm. Yeah, is Ritsu gonna do the same? She was clapping her eyes shut. Hibiki was so scared she didn't even intend to watch the movie. What? Wait, hold on. She was practically crushing her chest into my arm. Hey, hold on, Hibiki. Wait, if you're going to cling onto me, then at least... She literally has her eyes closed. How does she know? Come on, they're touching. I don't want to point it out, but your chest is touching me. Give me a break. Is it Sharknado? Is the movie Sharknado? I let out a breath that was almost more of a grumble. Even after the fact, Hibiki had absolutely zero attempt to let go of me. I'd eventually reached a point where I felt, well, whatever. The feel of her chest bugs me, but I would feel sorry for her if I brushed her off too. At that point, as that thought went through my mind, yeah? I fucking knew Ritsu was gonna join in. Hey! Now even Ritsu had clung to me from the left? Ritsu, why?
響ちゃんがいいなら私もいいでしょ?
Really? You had all night to plan this and that was the excuse you came up with? I had no choice but to accept it when she put it that way. Man though, having girls clutch onto me from both sides. So like, I could go and kick her. What is their part of what is their part in this? My childhood friend was on one side, and even though it was an improvement, my sister was on the other. Cold. With that thought on my mind. Yeah, where are you?
遠野先輩。キャー。
So she already was in on it. Now even the ones behind me were clinging to me. Hey, wait.
先輩怖いっす。
I'm sure you are. Now even Jerry was in on it. At least you could have at least picked an actual scary movie and not fucking Sharknado. Hey, what would you even call this situation? Gods were clinging to me from all sides with softness and wonderful smells around. This is the get Riri jealous plan or something or the other. Wait, there's clearly something funny about this. Oh.
甘れないでよ、ゆう。しがみつきづらいでしょ? そうだよ。じっとしててよ、お兄ちゃん。ごめん、殿ごめん。ひえー。助けてっす。
Look, Riri. Look, Shiori, I know you're forcing it, but like, I know you can act better than that. I couldn't fend them off. I was no use against this many of them. Come on, seriously, what was the situation? Honestly, the movie was the furthest thing from my mind. I wonder why.
おお、怖え。あんなに女子に囲まれるとか。助けてやりたいが、すまん、ユウ。俺にはどうにもできない。
See, like, if Shinji was in on this, that was good acting, alright? Because he definitely... Because even if he wasn't in on this, this is how he would act. Yeah. So the plan is to get Riri jealous so that she joins in. Right? I don't know where she would cling to him, but, you know, there's an area, I think. I don't know exactly where Kika is clinging to, but, you know. What the heck was going on today? Now that I was at work, this was no time to get wrapped up in my own head.
遠野くん、2番テーブル頼むよ。また直々にご指名でね。
Can we please put an end to that designation system already? Ah, I see. Who is going to be at table number 2?
しょうがないじゃないか。君の客受けで店が持ってるところがあるんだしね。
Honestly, understood. I've been causing problems for the manager since I hadn't taken on many shifts recently, which is unbecoming of you. And I would feel even more guilty about it if I started to complain. There was no way around it. With that, I forced my best customer service smile and headed for the table 2. Headed for table 2. I apologize for the wait. Are you ready to order?
はい、ご注文です。
So it's Riri. I mean, I don't know who else I could have expected, but did you really need to add the gong sound? For a moment, my smile nearly wavered. Kashima was alone at table 2. This was unusual. Why?
この鶏のグリルプレートをパンセットで。
Order received. Thank you very much. Although I had my doubts, I was still on the clock. My only option was to remain in customer service mode and not show any signs of faltering. I will read your order back. A chicken skillet with a side of bread. Is that correct? Actually, if I had to do customer service voice, I'd have to do a forced smile as well. Miss?
店員さんは
Yes?
今日何時までなんですか？
Flirting with the waiters, I see. That's against store policy. Restaurant policy. I wasn't entirely sure how to answer the question. Questions of this variety were something all employees would fundamentally never answer. But this is a different situation. Kashima was uncharacteristically quiet and pointed a silent glare up at me. She made the same face in the middle of the club meeting too. Yes, almost like it's like she's jealous. Like that was the whole point of their plan. That was all part of their plan.
そうなんですか。
As a battle waged in my mind between no way it couldn't be, and but what if? My shift ends at 8 o'clock. The next thing I knew, I had answered her.
そうですか。注文は間違いないです。
Certainly. I will return with your order momentarily. My heart couldn't help but race when I bowed and excused myself from her table. She had asked me what time I got off work. Don't tell me Kashima was planning to wait here until then.
どうしたんだい、遠野くん。まさかお客様に受けなかったんじゃないよね。
No, it's nothing like that. I couldn't help but feel anxious. After all, this was more than enough to get my hopes up. However... oh.
どうしたんですか？当のチーフ。
Oh, nothing. Where's the guest from table 2?
前にチーフたちと一緒に来てた、あの美人のお客様ですか？だったらお食事終わって、お帰りになりましたけど。
Well, I doubt she's gonna wait at the restaurant the whole time, right? Well, it depends on how long between when you served her and when you end shift. Kashima had apparently left while I wasn't looking. What was going on? Seriously. You're sending mixed messages here, Kashima.
ああ、まさかチーフ、あの人狙ってたとかですか？
As if. Besides, I'm on duty.
ってことは、仕事中じゃなかったら全然ありって意味です？
We shouldn't be gossiping while we're on the clock.
はーい。釣れない当のチーフ。
Honestly. Man, though. What was Kashima's deal? She had gotten my hopes up, but I guess I had jumped to my own conclusion there. Nothing made any sense to me today. Those thoughts kept on reeling through my mind until my shift was over. Good work. I'm heading out. Then, just as I left the restaurant...
お疲れ様です。
See? Riri was waiting. Just not in the restaurant. Because I guess she felt guilty for staying at a table after she finished eating. So she left so that someone else could occupy the table. I don't know. It sounds like something Riri would do. Kashima... What are you waiting outside for?
なんとなくですけど。
I see. Given the circumstances, it only made sense to go home together. We walked along side by side. Neither of us said much of anything. Perhaps it was more accurate to say I had no idea what to say. It was quite something that she'd been waiting until I got off work, right? That went to show just how badly she wanted to talk to me. But if that was true, why wasn't she talking? What should I do? Those same thoughts continued to swirl around in my head.
遠野くん。
It was at that point that Kashima abruptly spoke. Yeah? What's up? I replied before my mind had caught up when...
少しは青春がどういうものかわかりましたか？
Huh? She's asking me that now, was my first thought. With the stutter, too. What's more, with a somewhat peculiar degree of enthusiasm. Sorry, I don't think I understand it firsthand yet. I answered with some confusion. Then, for some reason...
そうですか。
Kashima was relieved. That response only made me even more confused. Had she gone to all that effort to wait for me to get off work just to ask something like that? What exactly did that mean? I was busy wondering about all of that when...
約束しましたよね。
Huh?
私が青春の師匠になるって。遠野くんに青春を教えるって。
Yeah. I'd nearly completely forgotten about that. Don't worry, I also forgot about that. But yeah, she was right. We had made that promise. Considering she had brought this up now.
明日。
Yeah? Could it be? Kashima, could it be?
私とポーカーの勝負をしてくれませんか？
Is this really how she's going to get What, a confession? Right? Is it like a, if I lose, if you lose, tell me how you really feel about me, and if I lose, I have to, I don't know.
では失礼します。
Hey, what was going on? She had left me guessing up until the very end.
駆け抜け青春スパーキング。
The next day, it's a very roundabout way of doing things, but it's thematic, I guess. I mean, more thematic, more in line with, I don't know how to describe it. They're doing it again. Okay, yeah. Our film festival from yesterday had carried on to today. What is the movie this time? Once again, everyone was clinging on to me from all sides. Why are you all having the same reaction the same reaction to an action comedy?
まあハラハラするしねえ柊。
Is it okay? So yesterday's movie was Hibiki's. So is this one Nagiko's? I don't know. I'm just assuming because it's an action comedy. Or actually, no. If it was Nagiko's, would it be like a martial arts film, right? Like Raid.
じゃわー。まあここは役得だと思って。
I can't watch the movie like this though. Well, with that said, to be honest, I wasn't especially interested in the movie. Yeah, he's looking at Riri more than the movie. The reason being, my thoughts centered around the conversation I'd had with Kashima yesterday. A poker match. How much I can do in this situation. I guess that meant we'd do that after this was over. Man, though, what did Kashima have in mind? Hard to believe she challenged me to a poker match. Surely Kashima knew she didn't stand a chance of beating me. Well, you don't know that. You might get flustered and you might get flustered over the wager and be unable to hide your poker face. Be unable to, I don't know what the right word would be. You wouldn't have a poker face. Sure. Where did this even come from all of a sudden? I was too mentally preoccupied to notice the handful of movies we'd gone through.
見た。では今日はこれくらいにして片付けましょうか。そうですね。お菓子やら飲み物やら散らばっちゃってますし。
None of you let go of me ever, even while we ate and drank.
細かいことはいいんだよ。ねえ、勝利ちゃん。うぎゃー。
She's still
それはもういいから。
she's still acting.
リツがそう言うなら。
Around the time everyone was chatting among themselves and cleaning up.
大丈夫ですよ。今日は私が片付けておきますから。
Kashima spoke up.
皆さんは先に帰っていただいて平気です。あ、そう？なんか悪いけど。いえ、お気になさらず。その方が落ち着くというだけですので。まったく、こんな時でも鹿島は鹿島よね。それに、ちょっと残ってやりたいこともありますので。へえ、それって何？まあ、それはそれとして、とにかく皆さん、そういうわけで。じゃあ遠慮なく帰らせてもらうっす。
だな。サンキューな、鹿島。
それじゃあお兄ちゃん、帰らせてもらおう。
When Ritsu prompted me to go with her, I spotted Kashima giving me a quick glance. Then an extraordinarily meaningful nod to go with it. This was her way of telling me she wanted me to stay, huh? And despite that, despite what she had told me yesterday, we hadn't had our poker match yet. Nah, I'll stick around.
なんで
Yeah, I wonder why. Kashima asked me for a favor. Asked me for a favor is all.
ふーん。
Hmm.
後片付けは鹿島さんとユウに任せたわ。
Unfortunately, it's not the thing that they're thinking of.
私たちはさっさと帰りましょ
But it might lead to it.
う。ってこら、押すな響き。押されなくても帰るところっすよ。じゃあお兄ちゃん先に帰ってるね。
With a push on the back from Hibiki, everyone left. Kashima and I silently waited until all of their voices faded into the distance. They're gonna wait around, aren't they? They're gonna wait around and be confused as to why they're having a poker match instead of confessing. The world eventually fell silent, leaving Kashima and I alone in the room.
ありがとうございます、遠野くん。
Kashima politely bowed her head to me. Nah, we did promise. I sat down across from her as I spoke. In doing so, Kashima nodded with a serious look on her face. At least clean up first.
では最後に一勝負お願いします。
She cut the cards and began to deal. Unfortunately, I've already used the CG, so hopefully they have another one. Hopefully they have another CG after this. I have to ask, why did you suggest a poker match of all things? Actually, it depends. There might be a new there might be a new type in this CG. I don't know how to describe it, but like, you know, like lighting change or like facial change or something that wasn't seen in the first time they showed the CG in the common route, right? I don't know, but I could potentially use the CG. I don't know why I'm discussing this with you like you haven't already seen it if I do use it, so never mind. I broke the ice as calmly as I could as I checked the hand I had been dealt. Not to mention, you deliberately chose my specialty. A pair of queens, and the rest was trash. This was Kashima I was dealing with. There shouldn't be any way she would challenge me to a match without some scheme up her sleeve. Well, yeah, the first time around you did the poker match, it was if she won, you would join the volunteer collective. I don't remember. Negative, as Hibiki described it. And if you won, you wouldn't join it. And she would stop asking you to join it, or something. Kashima didn't respond. Instead, she was staring intently down at her hand. Kashima?
私がこの勝負に勝ったら
Yeah? Huh? Yeah?
何でも一つ言うことを聞いてください。
Uh-huh. That's vague. Was that psychological warfare? Yes. Sure, you got it. Then in exchange.
逆に私が負けたら何でも一つ言うことを聞きます。
Huh? Anything?
はい。何でも。
That got me flustered for a second, but, wait. I had felt this shaken up before. When you say any one thing, I'm guessing that's what you mean. Like doing the cleaning or taking over day duty in your place. Yeah, sure. Tame things like that. Kashima?
違います。文字通り 何でもです。
That serious assertion made me gulp. Does that hypothetically mean even pervy stuff? Yes, that was what spontaneously came to mind. What's more, in all likelihood, I wouldn't lose. Kashima should have fully known that. All that put together means she wouldn't mind if I did something lewd to her. No, Kashima wanted me to. Is that okay, Kashima? Is that what you mean by this? I wondered if I might be overthinking this, but I doubted she would phrase it like literally anything, unless she had prepared herself to that extent. Wait, or maybe she was trusting that I would never ask for something like that. Well, you know, it's not like she would mind if you did. She might be a little disappointed if you won and didn't ask for anything pervy, though. I didn't know what Kashima was thinking. I didn't, but all sorts of possibilities spun around in my head. How long had I been pondering over this?
では、勝負です。
Yeah. She suddenly spoke up and I answered her on reflex. It was too late for me to even think to myself, I messed up.
私は2と3の2ペアです。
I have one pair. I fucking knew she would win. I played exactly the hand I had been dealt without playing any tricks. Kashima didn't have a strong hand by any means. If anything, it was about the worst possible set of two pairs she could have had. But regardless, my loss was a loss.
私の勝ちですね。
Sure do. I had no choice but to admit it. I lifted my head and noticed the setting sun shining in sideways through the window. The sun had apparently begun to go down at some point. Or rather, I had been too focused on our match to have noticed anything else. You could also say that I had been immersed in worldly thoughts. But that was another part of any match.
初めて師匠に勝てました。
Kashima placed a hand to her chest, seemingly relieved. Yeah, I've been bested. I wonder if this is a case of the pupil surpassing their master. Yeah, like when you beat your master at the end of the common round. Well, you beat his master at the end of the Never mind. It works both ways. And then again, I didn't think that Kashima had tampered with these cards. Put another way, I had been utterly defeated in pure psychological warfare. A technique I didn't employ and wouldn't teach her. It was nothing short of spectacular. So then, I'll have to do any one thing you ask of me. My shoulders sagged as I spoke. A part of it was because the tension had been broken. More than anything, this was Kashima I was dealing with. Even if she had said anything, I assumed it probably wouldn't be too extreme. What should I do, Kashima?
じゃあ、目を閉じてください。
Huh? That was it? That was it? Wasn't that way too modest considering she could ask for anything? Are you sure that's what you want?
はい。お願いします。
Alright, if that's what you want, Kashima. I wondered what in the world this was all about as I shut my eyes. In doing so, I could sense her sit up from her chair across from me. Only to close the gap between us. Gap between us. What is it? Are you going to scribble on my face or some?
殿くん。
Like I said, kind of a roundabout way of going about it, but I'm not complaining. My eyes shot open. Kashmir loomed over me with a do-or-die expression. Her eyes are closed too, what do you mean? A soft, warm sensation swept across my lips, and her supple hands cradled my cheeks. They didn't do this at a festival, unfortunately. So to substitute it, they're doing it in the ever-expanding void. The fuck is this background? There isn't one. Kashmir was kissing me. Desperately at that. Slowly but surely, enough to deeply ingrain it into me. This made it utterly clear to me. Kashmir's lips were warm and soft, but at the same time, almost agonizingly nervous. I couldn't move. I just sat there with my eyes wide open. And as I did that, Kashmir opened her eyes ever so slightly and whispered mid-kiss. There was the ticklishness of her exhaled breath that grazed my lips. The scent of her saliva hung lightly in the air. Kashmir's damp eyes were staring directly at me. I gasped. There it is. I was about to tell her to say the 3 words. And she did. My mind went blank. I love you. Kashmir planted her lips snugly back against mine once more. Fervently, wholeheartedly, all to get her feelings across to me. When her eyes softly left mine, lips, I mean, she gazed at me with gleaming eyes and whispered that to me. Shima. There was no way that her confession wouldn't strike a chord. In my chest, in my heart. Yes, this had to be her confession. My understanding of what had come from her lips permeated, resounded through my entire body. My entire body burned hot, moist as if in response to what she had whispered. I became so absorbed in that heat that the words spilled out of my lips. That's what I should say. I thought you were too good of a woman for me, Kashmir. That I wouldn't be a good match for you. If anything, here is impressive. It's you, Kashmir. I'm absolutely not. Wait. If anyone here is impressive, it's you, Kashmir. I'm absolutely not. Somewhere along the way, I realized how silly our dispute was. We were both complimenting each other. We were making it mutually clear that we were looking at each other in a way we never would any other person. Yeah, this means... I'm sure that is what this means. We couldn't help but laugh. and we laughed together from happiness and from a sense of relief. If you'll have me, I'd love to go out with you. I could finally say those words out loud. Well, say the important ones. The 3 important ones. It was what I'd wished for. All while my heart beat feverishly in my chest.
はい。私でよかったら。
Her eyes gleamed as she gave me the slightest of nods, enough that she nearly grazed my nose with hers. Her lack of nose. It was such a ticklish feeling, one of happiness. That was why I made sure to tell her more. I want you, Kashima. You're the only person I've ever thought about this way.
私もです。だから、これからよろしくお願いします。
Our foreheads gently plunked together. All because Kashima bowed to me.
ごめんなさい、つい。
Nah, right back at you. The next thing I knew, we were kissing again. Neither of us in particular initiated this time. Both of us with our eyelids shut.
遠野くん、私今日から遠野くんの
Yeah, from today on, I'm your...
彼女。
and I'm your boyfriend.
嬉しい。
Kissing wasn't just an act of touching our lips together. It was also an act where you conveyed your feelings for each other. This shiver-inducing realization came with enough happiness to make me want to shout out loud. Everything was packing into this first kiss with Kashima. All we could do was laugh following our kiss, neither of us especially doing so before the other. It was more like we couldn't help but to laugh. For happiness, from bliss. All of our hazy feelings up to this point had fully cleared up. Thanks for being with me, Kashima.
はい。こちらこそ、よろしくお願いします。
Oh man, I can't stop laughing.
私もです。片付けて帰りましょう。
Good idea. Together.
お付き合いを始めて初の共同作業ですね。なんて。
Seeing her laugh shyly at something she said before, she said herself, it positively warmed my heart. We finished cleaning up, then left the clubroom together when...
あ、やーっと来た
Okay, they weren't eavesdropping on them, they were just waiting. And also, you didn't say the fucking words. You're meant to say I love you back. Bitch.
皆さん
All of the others were out waiting for us by the school gate. I thought you were all heading home already.
帰れるわけないでしょ、気になって。でも、その様子だと無事くっついたみたいね。わかってたんですか？私が何をするか。そりゃわかるわよ。ついに告白するんだってことくらい。そのために昨日今日で焚きつけたんだから。
We exclaimed in unison. I got it now. That was what they were up to during the movie marathon.
だから皆さん、遠野くんにあんな風に。 もひどいです。おかげで私、ものすごくもやもや。ああでもしないと、踏み切れなかったでしょ鹿島さん。はい。その通りです。まあ、とにかくそういうわけで。せーの。
おめでとう二人とも。
パチパチパチ。チャンチャンチャチャン。チャンチャンチャチャン。
Brother, they're not getting married yet. You're a bit early.
って、それはまだ早いから。
That's what I'm saying.
もう、皆さん。
Thanks, though.
はい。ありがとうございます。
As we broke into embarrassed smiles, we couldn't help but bow our heads to the other members of the youth collective. Who would have thought we'd be an officially recognized couple so soon after we had begun to date? Yeah, even sooner than Hibiki and you. That night... Oh. I got a message over Lynn while I was eating dinner.
ひょっとして鹿島先輩？
Bingo. I checked the notification displayed on my screen and laughed dryly.
なんで苦笑い？
Because, you know, I showed Ritzy my screen.
照れくさかったですね。ああ。そりゃね。
I simply replied with, totally. The second I did, I got another reply.
でも、嬉しかったです。ひゅ
Hey, cut that out. Hey, stop looking.
見せてきたのはお兄ちゃんでしょ？どう返すの？それだけ見せて。
I mean, I showed her my totally message.
お兄ちゃん。
I wish you'd understand it. I wish you'd understand it. My maidenly heart. What?
もっとイケメンなセリフ返した方が、鹿島先輩の乙女心はキュンとくるのに。
As if I could do that while you watch. Another message came in while we were squabbling.
改めて、今後とも何卒よろしくお願いします。
Kashima sure was level-headed. Or rather, we really had started dating, huh? I sent back, that's what I should be saying to you, with a grin on my face at that realization. Wait, what is it, Ritsu?
まあ、思ったんだけど、私、しばらく家を空けた方がいい？
Oh, hang on a minute. No! There was no way I wouldn't understand what my sister was trying to say. I couldn't help but blush at her. I couldn't help but blush and went into a panic. It's too soon for that. It's too soon for that yet. We just started dating.
まだってことはその気はあるんだね。
And also, you know, Hibiki's are out. You know, I can't exactly help that, can I?
マイ兄とて所詮男。気だもの。
You say that like it's not gonna happen with you in your route.
妹的には兄が気だものになっている時は見ないでおきたい。
I'm telling you, that's way off in the future. Like a few days at least.
だからその時は言ってね。響ちゃんのお家にでもお泊まりに行くから。
Wouldn't that put absolutely everything out in the open? To Hibiki too. While I was thinking about that, there was another notification sound.
あれ？まだ終わってなかったんだ。
Come on, don't peek.
良いではないか、良いではないか、マイ兄。
I don't even know what kind of persona you've got right now.
で、どれどれ？
Hey, wait.
それはそうと、明日そちらにお邪魔してもいいですか？
No, don't. God damn it, Riri. She's played into it unknowingly.
お泊まりの支度しておかなきゃ。
Wait, I'm telling you, that's too hasty.
でも鹿島先輩積極的だし。
There's no way she's already thinking about that.
お兄ちゃん、迫られたら拒めるの？
That's a different matter entirely.
けたもの、マイアにけたもの。
Okay, and you're not going to be complaining about it in your route. Listen to me.
りっちゃんもいてくださると嬉しいです。
No, Richard's going to misunderstand.
まさかの狙われてるの私。気ましい。
Okay, she went down the threesome route. I thought she'd go down the cock route or the voyeur route. No, you must be wrong. Us siblings got worked up in a pretty incomprehensible direction, but whatever the case, it had been decided that Kashima would come over the next day. No, I didn't have my hopes up. I didn't have my hopes up. I didn't, okay? Seriously. I wasn't planning on rushing into anything. I wanted to treasure her, after all. However, Kashima had been the one to kiss me first without warning. Could that mean... Hey, no, seriously. I wasn't getting my hopes up for real.